here's my lovely yarn that I'll be using. Let's see, here's that old label. Yep, this is Loops and Thread, Country Loom. This is a Michaels brand, but I'm sure that other yarn sellers have something similar. It's super bulky, so this should be nice and comfortable. I put a lot of driftwood. So yeah, it's gonna look really good. Hello everyone, welcome back to Spinning Iris. This, I guess, is part 1 of Star-Crossed Stitchers for Victober. I've gotten through 3 chapters of 2 on a Tower, and I've gotten several rows into my project. If you recall from a previous video, I mentioned it was going to be a bosom friend. The one that I looked at initially was a Sontag, which didn't quite work with the yarn that I chose, and also is frankly kind of ugly. But I did find a pattern to adapt for my own special shawl. I decided to go with stripes after looking at a little Dorrit, some still images from the little Dorrit mini-series. I noticed a lot of the costumes had stripes, so I decided, oh, I guess I'll do some stripes for this shawl. It'll look nice. So far it's looking really nice with the different colors. Hold up what I've got so far. Not bad. So what I'm going to do is going to alternate between the different colors and the 2 different grays that I have. Yeah. That's what I got so far. Like a rainbow. So I've got about 7 yarns, and in case I run out of yarn, hopefully I won't, I do have 2 others that I can pull out that are different from the ones I already have. Also got a random red one that I can use if I have to. Add for a strange pop color. Yeah, so I figured, why do all black? It's no fun. So far this story is very interesting. Definitely different. This poor isolated Mrs. Constantine. Finally bit the bullet and got Audible on my computer. The version I chose to listen to is narrated by Michael Kitchen. May or may not be familiar with him. He's the lead in Foyle's War, which I haven't seen a lot of. I've seen a little bit. Listened to a couple samples, and I liked his voice the best. And so far, I'm quite enjoying it. Alright, so we'll see part 2 next time. Alright, and here's a close-up of what I've gotten so far. It's not a complicated stitch at all, just basic garter stitch. Yeah, I actually had to start this over because I dropped a stitch up here. But that's rage knitting for you. Or in this case, vexed knitting, as it's Victober. Alright, up to chapter 13, and woo, quite some nice progress on this shawl. Stripes are coming out quite nicely. It doesn't look like too much at the moment. Ooh. Quite nice, and I'm enjoying the story a lot. It's been a nice break from Wuthering Heights, which I really need to get back into. Halfway through it now. Nice and soft. A bit more. It's going to be a lot of blues and greens on here. And the dark grays are adding a nice contrast to break up the colors. From the distance, the steel one looks really nice with the flecks of white. Cool. I like stars. Oh, that's several instances of tangled up yarn. Not too vexing at the moment. A little more progress and a new color. Check it out. And entered chapter 20. Ooh. I know it's hard to tell on the needles. Holy cliffhanger, Batman. Oh, I just stopped on chapter 25 of Two on a Tower. Oh, my goodness. It's so good. Oh, but I know something's gonna happen. Something has to happen. Things have been going too relatively well for this couple. Something horrible is going to happen. I just know it. I've read too many stories like this to to know that something is going to happen. Oh, oh yeah, yeah. This is coming along nicely. I had to stop in the middle of a stitch just to calm down. Oh yeah, it's looking good. Well. So halfway through that Victober project, I have finished 2 other Victorian-esque media. I recently finished re-watching the BBC's production of Little Dorrit. This is a really good adaptation, by the way. I read the book a few years ago, really enjoyed it. This does a really good job. It cuts out a lot of the barnacles. It's got a great cast. It's Claire Foy, Matthew McFadden, and Andy Serkis, as well as Tom Courtenay, and a lot of familiar British faces. Emma Pearson definitely steals her scenes. Yeah, really good adaptation. I highly recommend it. Little Dorrit is by Charles Dickens, of course, if you can't tell by the slightly... It definitely looks very Dickensian, even though it's technically set pre-Victorian. It was written in the Victorian era. But the only thing I wish they'd done a little bit better is Flora's character. In the book, her dialogue is like paragraphs of run-on sentences. There's no punctuation. She never takes a breath. I almost wish they could have gone a little bit more with that, but what they did was a really good job with this. And this was also the inspiration for this shawl too, so good on this. And I also finished listening to my audio book of Dracula, read by Richard E. Grant. Yeah, it was a really good reading. I just wish it wasn't abridged. Short books... No book should ever be abridged, in my opinion. I don't care. Especially short books. If your book is under 400 pages, there's no reason to abridge it. Richard E. Grant's narration is really, really entertaining. He gives each character their own voice, though Jonathan and Dr. Seward's do kind of get a little confused, because I know Richard E. Grant played Dr. Seward in the Francis Ford Coppola movie, so the accent he uses for that character is probably closer to his own natural way of speaking. Whereas with Jonathan Harker, it's a little more prim. Still, sometimes it gets a little confused. But he does a really good one for Lucy Westenra, too. I just wish it wasn't abridged. Missing all those little details about, what is that town? Whitby. And I want my descriptions of Whitby. I want all the descriptions of Transylvania and all the stuff that was cut out. I would love to have heard Richard E. Grant reading the details about giving a blood transfusion. Why not? But yeah, 4.5 stars for Richard E. Grant's narration, 3 stars for Penguin for chopping up a classic. Still love the cover art though. It's Edvard Munch's The Kiss. Actually got to see a print of this several years ago at the National Gallery. Yeah, Victober's going well. Not getting to do as much as I would like to because of my silly work schedule, but still doing well and making do with what I got. A little more than halfway through Wuthering Heights. More on that later. Well, time to get back to this. Find out what happens next. Take care. Bye-bye.